On today's video, no voice for Gekko Gaming, but nonetheless, two new commanders joined Rise of Kingdoms, and we're not gonna let the voice stop us from going over them at least the first glance, talk about both commanders, read the skills, share our thoughts, and in general, just, do what we do always, which is cover these commanders when they come out with a first impression. Now, obviously, my voice is messed up, but nonetheless, the show must go on. So if you want to hear my thoughts on these commanders, want to figure out how they work, which one you get from where, and all that good stuff, sit back, enjoy the video, slap a like on it, especially if you're enjoying the fact that my voice is all messed up. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to a voiceless Gekko Gaming. That is right, my throat is all sorts of messed up. Trying to figure that one out today at the doctor's, but for now, overnight, the passes of Lost Kingdom 141 opened up. Content about that coming up very soon, and two new commanders dropped out of the blue. Leonidas the First, the Spartan, and Guan Yu, one of the most busted commanders I've seen in a long time. Let's start talking about Leonidas, and then we'll go to my favorite one of the two, which is Guan Yu. I'll also show you guys how you can get them and all that good stuff in this video. Let's start off with a basic. First of all, don't be scared about the fact that, the camera moved sides. We want to make sure you guys can read and see the skills. So, Leonidas, the King of Sparta. Increase the health of troops led by Leonidas by 10% for 3 seconds. Deals damage to up to 3 targets in a fan-shaped area. Damage factor of 200 going all the way up to 600. And that in health of troops increase can go up to 30%. Targets under effective silence or attack reduction will take an additional 50% damage. So this commander essentially says as long as there is any type of attack debuff or you silence the other march from using essentially skills, we are gonna do some extra damage. He is nasty. Now, first and foremost, what I did not say is he looks amazing. I love the way he looks like. The shield with the arrows is such a great touch. But the only thing I don't understand is what's going on. I understand the chest hair, but okay, Lilith. Okay, too much right there. Second skill, 300 Spartans, the leader of the 300. When the army is led by this commander, contains only infantry units. He's an infantry commander. Increase the defense by 10% and increase the speed of rage gained by 5%. This goes up to 30% defense and 15% speed of rage gained. He is a new type of rage machine. We've never seen speed of rage being changed before. This is a new type of skill, and it's really exciting to see these kinds of things coming into the game because it adds a new dimension to what a commander does. It's not only about damage and buffs. Now it's about restoring rage quicker. We have seen insta rage restore in the past. Gain insta rage when this skill is triggered, right? But now it's a percentage of gain in terms of the speed of rage regen, which is a really interesting concept. We're gonna have to see how this works out in terms of speeding up the process of essentially casting skills. Honorable sacrifice. When the army led by this commander has been reduced to less than 50% strength, there is a chance to gain a shield when attacked. Damage factor of 600 for 3 seconds. While the shield lasts, increase the attack of troops by 3%. The self shield goes up to 800 direct damage factor and attack bonus up to 15%. Now, what I don't understand is you have a chance to gain a shield. What is a chance? Is it 50%? Is it 10%? Is that 100%? What does a chance stand for? So this is something we're going to have to figure out. I'm going to ask Lilith Gaming what the heck a chance means. But we are going to need to understand how these shields are triggered, because shields have been a crucial part of this game. We've seen Alexander, we've seen Martel with shields. This is a third infantry commander with shields. And if the animation is like the Spartans shields kind of sitting there, I'm going to flip out. That's going to be awesome. Although Martel's kind of does that already. The fourth skill, Son of the Lion, Leonidas. While on the map, Leonidas' attack have a 25% chance to increase all damage dealt by his own troops by 5%, lasts for 5 seconds, and stacks up to 5 times. So 5 seconds is roughly 5 turns. While on the map, there's a 25% chance to increase your damage by 5% up to 10%, and that can stack up to 4 times. So if you get lucky enough, you can stack 40% damage in about, 4 seconds? So you'd have 1 second of 40%, 2 seconds of 30, 3 seconds of 20, 4 seconds of 10, and 5 seconds of 10. So it'd be all that times 2, something like that. Remember that every turn this can stack. So every turn is an attack. Well, every other turn, I guess, it's a turn and counter attack. So every turn that happens, an attack happens and there's a chance. So it's not that for 5 seconds you'll have up to 40% attack damage dealt, but you actually have a situation where as it stacks, the time goes down. So I like this because it doesn't mean you can instantly hit 40%. It goes up with time, which makes it a bit more balanced in my opinion than just having him at 40% for 5 seconds. That could be really, really, really nuts. His expertise is when the army led by this commander has been reduced to less than 10%, increase all damage dealt by 400%, and increase damage reduction by 50%. Last 10 seconds, this effect can trigger only once per hour after the army left the city. Here's something you gotta understand. When you hit 10% strength, you're most likely not gonna stay out. You're not gonna stay out of the city for too long. So this effect can only trigger once per hour after the army has left the city. It's kind of pointless because the most likely outcome is that you're in a fight where you're very low and so is the enemy, and this might have helped you win the fight, and now you should go back home. I'm not a fan of this expertise, and this is the only reason I really don't think Leonidas is the best out of the two. When you're at 10% strength, you're probably not looking to fight. And truthfully, at 10% strength, 400 damage puts you like at essentially 40%? The same damage you do at 40%-ish, plus minus, give or take, depending on what 10% of your army survived. And so I don't see this expertise being something like massively popular or something that useful. Leonidas is an infantry versatility defense commander, and a bunch of people had this crazy speculation where, and so far it's worked by the way, where the versatility commanders were usually the commanders that come out of wheels. But this, according to the game at least, is not the case for this set of commanders. If you click here on Leonidas, you'll have coming soon appearing in here. And if we go into Guan Yu and click on here, he is a Wheel of Fortune commander. So I believe Titch was the one who is insanely, it's an insane believer that this is the indication. Well, my friends, those of you who have been yelling at me all the time that versatility is what matters, we go back to the belief that the stronger commander out of the two, according to Lilith Gaming, is the one that goes into the wheel. And that, my friends, is Guan Yu. First of all, a sick design. Lilith Gaming, 2 big thumbs up on the design of both of these commanders. I love the fact that his hair just flies by, and I love this. The only thing that I gotta say is he has the smallest feet on earth. What is he wearing? Does he go shop for shoes in the women's aisle? I'm so confused. Why are all these new commanders like small feet commanders? Is this Lilith telling us to not skip leg day? Same goes for Edward. He had skinny legs Man, we do not skip leg days. Stop making these commanders small-legged commanders. I mean, look at his lower body. No comments. Anyway, he is an unbelievably strong commander. Infantry conquering skill commander. Let's go through his skills and you'll see why I like him so much. Saint of War. It deals direct damage to up to 3 enemies in a fan-shaped area. Another AoE commander for infantry. My goodness. Damage factor of 550. And silences the targets for 3 seconds. So, put Guan Yu at the front, in theory. With Leonidas in the back. Guan Yu silences. Leonidas busts out the damage. My goodness gracious. When Guan Yu is serving as a primary commander, increased damage factor by 1100. His damage factor can go up to 1000 as a secondary commander and 2000 as a primary commander. We're going to read through these skills quickly, and then I want to get back to this point because it's setting a very interesting precedent we got to think about a little bit further. 5 Tiger Generals, passive skill when attacking garrisons. Increase the normal attack damage by 3%. Normal attacks have 10% chance to reduce a single target's attack by 10% for up to 3 seconds. Attack reduction goes up to 30%. Normal attack damage bonus goes up to 15%. The Slaying of Hua Xiong. I hope I said that right. Apologize if anyone gets offended by how I read things, by the way. Increase infantry unit attack by 10% and march speed by 3%. Upon leaving the battle, Guan Yu heals a portion of slightly wounded troops. Infantry attack bonus goes up to 30%. Infantry march speed goes up to 15%. And 1000 healing factor. Important only when leaving a battle. This is not like Richard, who has active skills which will heal him. This is only when you leave a battle. So you're going to try to have to figure out how either you beat your opposition and heal, or you manage to get away from the fight long enough so you're considered leaving a battle, heal, and then come back in. But a big healing factor for an infantry commander right here, not bad at all. Guan Yu is looking well-rounded. Green Dragon Crescent Blade. Passive skill again. When the skill Saint of War, the first skill, only hits 1 target, so you're not AoEing, there's a 50% chance to deal an additional damage of 600 to the target, all the way up to 1000. When the skill hits 2 or more targets, meaning you're hitting with AoE, there's a 50% chance to deal an addition 800 damage factor to the current target, up to 1400. Let that sink in for a bit. And the expertise Lone Rider. When Guan Yu gains a shield, he also increases his active skill damage by 15% for 3 seconds. Whenever Guan Yu leaves a structure, his march speed increases by 100% for 3 seconds. Let all this sink in for a bit, because this is the most important thing you need to understand. First and foremost, this type of damage is brand new to the game. We've never seen this much damage out of 1 commander, 1 direct damage factor, 1 skill. This is nuts. Compound that with another 1400 and compound that with another 15%. Guan Yu is poised to do stupendous damage. Now, this is something I might not be necessarily a fan of, although it does set an interesting precedent. What happens in open field combat with this much damage? What'll end up happening is one of 2 things. Either single marches are going to start getting chunked down very quickly, and the effectiveness of open field combat will dissipate, as rallies will get more favored, because when a commander does this much damage, it won't take long for him to chunk down a march in the open field, as marches, single marches, are open only to up to 310,000 troops, and that's with a 50% expansion. On top of that, the flip side of it is that what we'll see coming up in the future is healing in much bigger quantities, which then means you're doing 100,000 damage troops, but then you're healing 100,000. So what's the point of big numbers? So we're going to have to see how the big numbers play out. because they will either very slowly kill open field combats, solo hits, and change the way wars are fought more towards rallies, or it will just cause bigger numbers to pop on the screen for damage and healing, but have no meaning. So we could get to a point where like you have 1 million damage and then 1 million heals, kind of pointless. But regardless, Guan Yu is a damage machine. He is completely crazy. A Guan Yu Alexander mix is gonna be the next thing. People are gonna go nuts with him and do so much damage, especially because he's a skill tree and infantry. My goodness, I love these commanders. I think they are super OP. I'm calling right now, take screenshots of the skills. I'm telling you this for sure. I have no doubt Lilith Gaming are going to nerf this guy before he comes out. He is way too strong. Way too strong. And he's going to do stupid amounts of damage. He's going to change the game. And I believe Leonidas will too. A mix of a Guan Yu and Alexander guaranteeing a shield being popped on Guan Yu, or a Guan Yu Leonidas can be super deadly, especially because they do mix really well with the silence, which will trigger Leonidas's extra 50% damage. Leonidas's potential shield will trigger then this when shielded. Essentially, two very strong commanders. This one will be a Wheel of Fortune commander based on what Lilith Gaming have, I guess, accidentally told us already. I never really realized that this is already here. I think this is not supposed to be there yet. But now we know. Now I want to know what you guys think about these commanders. Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this very weird video with my very bad voice. I apologize if you guys don't like it. I mean, I am not going to let that stop me from providing you guys with the best content I can. And the show has to go on. And with that being said, I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Thank you for all your continued support and for being awesome and for joining our Discord. Link in the description down below. Peace.